Alright guys, how's it going? By now you've probably realised that I am on something of a break, as it's been almost 2 weeks since my last video was released. I was working on other videos last week. I was doing an afterburner video, and I started benchmarking Deus Ex, but I just sort of realised that I was going through the motions. And the reason for it is there is a complete lack of new, exciting technology coming out over the next few months. I mean, realistically, what's coming on the graphics card front? We're not getting Vega until next year. Nvidia's gonna release a GTX 1050 and a 1080 Ti. We know exactly how they're gonna perform. There's nothing there to really get excited about. We're not gonna see Zen until next year either. And it's impossible to be excited about anything Intel does. So that's why, really, I've just been going through the motions. These older videos, 7 months ago, these were interesting because I felt motivated and enthusiastic about what was coming. But it really just didn't materialise. And sad to say it, but this is the state of the tech industry, and it's been this way for way too long. So there's no big tech news coming, and I simply cannot get myself motivated to do this sort of level of video any longer. So that's why the gaps have been a bit longer, and the quality has started to suffer. You simply cannot do it without the material, but more importantly, without the enthusiasm behind it. Now, some of you may be aware that I have a pretty large Patreon account going. It's basically $500 and been that way for a few months now. So that's $500 per month that my patrons pay me simply for making videos. However, I now feel that the quality is not good enough for me to justify this. So a few days ago, I made a video for my patrons saying that I'm pressing the pause button on it right now until I regain my energy and the mojo is back. Now, you may or may not be aware that YouTube, for guys at my level, does not pay an awful lot of money. In fact, in my case, because of the way that I upload videos, which is generally 1 or 2 a week, my Patreon account is by far and away the biggest source of money coming into the channel. So that should just let you know how serious I am about this, as this is not an insignificant amount of money. Financially, the channel can just about support itself with all of this stuff included. I was doing other work outside of the channel, consultancy work, for 1 or 2 different companies, and that is basically what I've been living on. However, that's kind of dried up as well because most of my consultancy work revolves around Nvidia. I can't go into the details, but it's pretty interesting stuff. Some of the questions that I get asked, these are from financial guys, asking me for my opinion. And when I get that work, it pays pretty well, but it's just a little bit too infrequent for me. And now it has effectively dried up completely. I'll talk about it in a video one day, but not right now. So I found myself in a bit of a bind here. There are other factors at work as well. I talked about it in my 20,000 subs video, which was 5 months ago. So as you can see, things have slowed down quite a lot. I'm at 33,000 now, so that's only 13,000 in 5 months. I'm saying only. There's a lot of guys out there would love those kind of numbers, but in the end, it has slowed down considerably, especially in the past 3 months. Again, it really comes down to this lack of new products and lack of interest. But in this video, I kind of talked about how I had a sleeping issue. It's a lifelong thing that I've got, I simply cannot get asleep at night and it will never change. What it basically means is I work all night and I can sleep for a very long time in the morning. My clock is completely whacked compared to the average person. I don't really consider it to be a big issue. When I was back in Scotland, this was not a problem. I was kicking out 2 or 3 gaming videos per day at one point, edited videos, and basically working on videos more than 12 hours per day. That was fine when I had my own space and I could record at any hour of the day. Now that I'm in Sweden and living with my partner and her 2 kids, who are both grown up, I simply cannot record at all hours of the night, So that's another little kind of thing getting in my way. But obviously we're hoping to move to a bigger place, and this should be less of an issue. What really sort of did it for me though was early on last week where I had contacted a company, one of AMD's partners, and told them that I've got a GTX 1060 overclocked, but I've only got the stock 480 that AMD sent me. And I want to do a head-to-head, but it's not really fair on the RX 480 because the RX 480 isn't overclocked and it throttles, and can you just send me a card for this purpose? And they were like, yeah, sure. And in fact, we'll also send you a 470 if you want. So I thought, well, I wasn't really bothered about the 470, and that also meant that I had to do another review. But I said, yeah, sure, I'll review your cards, and it's almost certainly going to be used in my upcoming PC builds, that sort of thing. But I never got an email back, and the reason is they consider me to be a liability because my reviews are a little bit more honest than what the average is. I just find it really, really stupid, in all honesty. Now, it wasn't just this company. There have been other companies as well. Effectively, none of AMD's partners will talk to me or even consider giving me a card for review. These companies have not liked my review of these cards. So you might want to think about that. If you think I'm biased, and yet these companies whose cards I have been reviewing simply will not deal with me because of my reviews of their products. But anyway, I just reached a point where I had had enough. There's nothing coming. I feel utterly jaded about the whole situation, and I simply am not doing the videos justice the way that I was 6 months ago. And I am not the type of person who will simply tread water. If something's not quite working with me, then I do want to change it. You simply get nowhere by going through the motions. And this is what I've been doing for the past 3 months in reality, is going through the motions. So now's the best time to change all this and take things more into my own hands. Now, even though financially I am down a lot of money recently, since taking the break from the channel after I did the FreeSync video, I started looking at ways to improve it. And I've got 1 or 2 ideas which I'm pretty sure will work. One of them will be based on a video series, but I will talk more about that when I'm ready to release it. My thinking is simple. 2-3 months, nothing coming up. I'm taking a break from the channel, and instead I'm going to fix my finances. Hopefully in a way where when the next round of cards comes, I don't need to worry about these guys. I'm just going to go and buy the cards and continue to give you honest reviews. I don't want to be dependent on these companies. I don't want to owe them anything. And one thing I am certainly not willing to do is sugarcoat their products and reviews. There will be 1 or 2 smaller videos uploaded sporadically. I know that a lot of you are going to be really disappointed by this, but there is simply no other way that I can do it right now. Before I finish this video, I have a giveaway to give away. It's a nice little game called EverSpace by Rockfish Games. I've got a Steam key to give away. I must admit that I almost just used this one for myself. It's not a simulation game like Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen. It's more like a space shooter type thing. But the graphics are really nice and it looks pretty playable. Very much an arcadey, roguelike type of game. But yeah, it looks really nice and it is very well received on Steam, with over 90% score, I believe. So all you need to do to have a chance of winning a copy of EverSpace is leave a comment below. I will pick a winner at random over the next couple of days, and I will let the winner know. But right, that is it for this. Again, I'm sorry about it, but I can't do anything else, yeah? There's nothing else I can do about this. And I'm really hoping that the steps that I take over this next couple of months are really going to show up in the channel in the months following that, rather than just have the channel tread water and basically just sort of peter out. I hope that I am taking the smart option here. But time will tell. I'll catch you later, guys.